Hey, my name's Rick. I want to welcome you to my shop here, Old Time Garage, and let's go ahead and take a look and I'll show you what's going on. So this is the front of the shop. We got a couple cool customs here, a cool custom right here in my own personal truck. As you can see, it's not $1 million shop whatsoever, but you don't need $1 million shop to get the job done right. Let's take a walk inside here. Was a 51 Chev two-door sedan, if you're curious as you're watching this video. Old Survivor custom, believe it or not, but that's something for a later date. Now there is a little bit of a mess, you'll have to excuse it. We just recently moved here for more room. Come on in. So this is where the day begins. This is kind of the lunchroom office. As you can see, there's quite a bit of cool stuff around here. A lot of you car guys will probably be going crazy over some of the stuff, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, every morning begins right here. All sorts of trinkets and stuff like that. So this is the office. This is where we answer the phone. This is where we make the calls. This is where we take all the notes down on what you guys want to do. Nothing fancy here, no fancy fax machines, no fancy any of that kind of stuff. You don't need that. Even the bills are still handwritten here, very old school. So we've been in business and I've been established now for 10 years. Like I say, I just moved here recently, so the shop is still a bit under organization mode here. Takes a while to get organized. But come on in, I'll show you around here some of the projects we got on the go. So this is a 69 Chevy, 396 big block, number matching car we're building for a customer. We're doing a frame off. Right now we're in the process of putting the whole car together, panel fitting everything, because that's the proper way of doing the body work, and when you're welding pieces in, you should panel fit everything to make sure all the lines and gaps line up. So you can see right now we've kind of roughed everything in. On this car itself, it was pretty rotten when it came here, so I put full quarter panels on from the roof line down. These are brand new full quarter panels, new inner and outer wheel tubs. We've put a complete new trunk pan in it. Floor pans are good. Fenders and doors have had patches, butt welded in here. The proper way is to butt weld it in. We don't like overlapping, especially if it's down low. If you're going to overlap, I prefer you do it up high, at least the water and the moisture can't get out there. And what else can I tell you about it? I don't know if you can get a shot of the inside here or not. As you can see, the frame has everything new. It has all new brakes, ball joints, control arm bushings, steering box we've rebuilt. The frame is powder coated. There's pros and cons to powder coating. 50% of people like powder coating, 50% of people don't like it. I kind of lean either way. It's good for some stuff, not good for other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about what the customer wants, and this gentleman wanted the frame powder coated, so if that's what he wants, that's what he gets, and you explain the pros and cons, and you leave the decision up to them. And because that's what it's about, it's up to you guys. It's your car, it's your ride, it's your money. I'm just the employee. Close good. So, up on the hoist here, it's kind of hard to probably see it on the hoist, but it's a 50 Monarch. A gentleman brought it into me. He just wants to drive it. He's had this car for 35 some odd years, and you know, he's gone through some bad times recently, and all he's got left is his car and his dog. So he just wants to drive this car. And it's by no means a perfect car. It's got a lot of body filler in it. You know, it's got a lot of patch welding that's been done on it over the years. You can see the stuff going on here, and it just is what it is. But here at Old Time Garage, the one thing I'm mainly concerned about is mechanical. It has to be safe. So this gentleman wants to be able to get in his car and know he can drive it anywhere and go anywhere he wants to go. So we're rebuilt the whole differential. We're putting all new braking system in it. The motor luckily was already rebuilt, so it's been sitting for a while. We did have it fired up, it runs good, but now we're going to pull the motor out and we're just going to re-gasket the motor. It doesn't need nothing. Transmission is out, getting rebuilt right now by a good friend of mine, Bruce Brown. Awesome guy. If you ever need Hemis or flatheads done, this is a guy to talk to. So we're cleaning the car up. Like I say, everything new. We're going to convert it over to 12 volts for this gentleman because he wants to have electric wipers and a modern heater. And you know, we've given it a quick clean up underneath. It's got a lot of the factory old undercoating and tar, which is not peeling off. It's holding on pretty good. So we just cleaned all the grime and the dirt off, and we just resprayed it. So at least if you look underneath the car, it looks clean. like I say, this gentleman does not have a lot of money, and you know, he hasn't got a lot of money, but he just wants to drive his car, and that's what I'm here for, is to help you guys out and try and work within your budget. I mean, no matter what, my hourly rate doesn't change. It is what it is. You give me a price in mind that you're looking to spend, and I'll tell you what I can do for that money. And you know, we'll just take it from there. And so, yeah, that's it about this car, pretty much. So we'll head over to the other bay here. As I was saying earlier, this is not a super high-end shop. We don't have the trailers out front with the big fucking logo down the side. We don't have the t-shirts, you don't have the hats, you don't have all that kind of crap. We build cars here. That's what we do. We've got the equipment that you need to do it. You know, we've got a hoist, we've got engine stands, we've got parts washers, we've got everything we need. You know, we've got all the hammers, the dollies, the benders, the brakes. We've got everything here in this shop that we possibly need to build a car. And we usually always have at least 3 frame-off restorations on the go at once, and a couple of smaller jobs, like I consider this a smaller job, like you see up on the hoist here. Something else that's going on here. So I don't have the truck here to show you, because we bring it in and out as the guy can afford it. So it's kind of a nuisance a little bit for the guy to keep bringing it back and forth, but he can only afford so much at a time, and that's fine. So we're on to it. It's a 36 Ford pickup, and we're doing the fenders right now. We've already done the rear fenders in the box. As you can see, the fender's pretty bad. Back in the day, there was no MIG welding. There was stick welding, arc welding. So the fender's really bad here. You can see the body line is completely gone. It's hard to tell right now through this video, obviously. The fender's really hammered up really bad. There's a big, huge concave dent in here. You can probably see here where the body line is, and it just disappears completely. So what we're going to do is, on this kind of job, how I do it personally, everyone has their own way of doing things, so I'm not here to tell anyone how to do anything, because whatever works for you works. I will start by hammering and dollying out all the dents on this. Absolutely the best possible I can. The less filler, the better. Then I will cut and weld in patches, and I will butt weld everything in here. And we will get it all butt welded in. Then what I will do is I will blast the fender. I blast them last, because that way there, it gives a surface, it gives it that nice roughness, so the body filler can grip to it for what body filler you got to put on, and the primer has something to adhere to too. So that's how I go about doing it. But like I say, I'm not, you other guys may have ways of doing things, and I'm not here to judge anyone. That's just how we do it. Here's the finished product. This fender, this is the left side of that truck. Started life just like that one, if not worse. You can see the body line is beautiful now. We've got it out. There's no indentation here. This is a bit of a higher end truck for this guy. It's probably going to be a $100,000 vehicle when it's done. I don't know, maybe that's not high end to you. It sure is to me, that's for sure. We've hammered out all the dents the best we can, and when we're done, you can barely tell. I mean, you're always going to have some hammer marks in here, but you can barely tell where it's being done. So some guys will be as fussy as to get us to do the body work inside too, because they want to paint it all, and they just want it looking beautiful, spot on. This guy's not to that point. He wants the outside spot on, but inside he's just going to do a nice, probably a nice texture spray, and then just shoot it with a nice satin black over top, because this will be just a summertime cruiser for him. So right over here we've got a 71 Chev pickup, frame off restoration, younger gentleman. I believe the truck came out of Oregon or California. I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I do know it was a one owner. It had never been repainted. It had just under 100,000 miles on it. No accidents whatsoever. So what we've done here is I've had the cab actually flipped up on the cart. I did have to put all new cab supports in. Typical on these vehicles to go. All the mud and the crap sits in them. The problem is with the front cab supports, in my opinion, where a lot of the shit sits in them, is from the factory, they drill a hole up underneath in this area here. But the problem is all the crap sits down here. It's running downhill, but they've got no access for it in there. So I put an extra hole down in there too, just to let the stuff run out of there. The truck will never rust in our lifetime anyway, whether I drill the holes or not. I mean, nobody drives them every day anymore. So I mean, this truck will outlive us when it's done. It's being done properly. It's a frame off, it's being blasted, the rust is being cut out, what little rust there is, everything is being butt welded in, and that's how it should be done if you're doing it to that extent. Okay, so we'll head outside here and we'll take a look. So this is the frame for the 71 Chev pickup you were just looking at. We've already had this one already mocked up on the frame and all bolted together and it all lined up. So the frame has been painted. It's all new brakes throughout the whole thing. New suspension. A lot of the parts were supplied by CPP. Good guys to deal with, or at least I've had good luck with these guys. Differentials rebuilt, 12 bolt posi, 373 gears. So this is ready to go now. As you saw the cab there, we got a little bit of body work left on the cab to do, and then basically what we do is the young fellow will pick his color, we'll paint it, and we'll bolt the cab on, and then we'll just slowly keep painting stuff and bolting it back together. And so that's that project there. This will be on the road hopefully this summer by June, along with the Chevelle. And then we'll go on to this one here. We've got a 41 Dodge pickup. Most people are doing Chevys and Fords nowadays. Some people will say, why Dodge? You know what? It's one of those trucks that kind of grows on you after a while. You kind of look at it at first and say, oh my God, but everybody's got a Chevy and Dodge, and we all got to be different. If we're all the same, it'd be pretty boring because everyone would probably have a 32 Ford and a bloody 49 to 51 Merc, right? So let's be different here. So what we've done is we've taken out the straight axle on the front, we've welded a Mustang tube clip in it. Body's left stock. We've put in a completely rebuilt. The guy could have went Hemi, 440, 360, anything he wanted. The guy just wants a nice clean little driver, nothing wrong with it. We've built up a nice 318 with a mild cam, Edelbrock intake, Edelbrock 600 carburetor. We're able to reuse a factory radiator, just had to move the outlets and have the rad record. You probably can't see from this view, but I had to cut and recess the firewall to make everything work. But we can get a better angle of it from inside the truck here. You can see what's involved. So if you take a look inside, you can sort of see where I've custom fabricated the floor to clear the transmission. Transmission is a 727R. Master cylinder and booster are underneath the floor. It's got an I did it column in it. Painless wiring kits going in, vintage air heater system going in. The truck will look essentially stock except for wheels and sitting a lot lower and a little more modern running gear. In the back, we've put in a Mustang, a 65 Mustang, 8-inch rear end, completely rebuilt. It fit in there nicely. The 9-inch was going to be a little too wide. Would have had to narrow it and all that kind of shit. So this was just a cheaper route to go. And at the end of the day, I always believe in trying to save the customer a little money. You're never going to break this 8-inch with that 318. You're just not going to. A 9-inch should just be overkill in my opinion. We've put in a gas tank for a 64 to 67 Mustang. These are awesome tanks. Any of you guys out there building pickups, I've got one in my own personal truck, my 49 Ford pickup. They make 3 different sizes. I can't remember exactly what they are. I think there's a 14 and a 16 gallon. I don't remember what the other one is, but they're just a beautiful tank. If you're a guy that doesn't like having a filler door hidden here and there, this is awesome because what you can do is the tank will bolt up to the back of your frame and you can put a spout up through here and you can either make a trap door or have one of your pieces of wood lift up on your box so you can fill it through there. I guess maybe the only downside to that might be as if you're worried about the gas hose dragging on your tailgate or something when you go to fill it up. But most of us guys that got these vehicles were pretty careful, so I don't think we're going to let that happen. So keep in mind, Mustang gas tanks, good way to go. Over here, this is a buddy of mine, 54 Chevy, 5-window pickup. We're basically doing, it's not a frame off, it's close to a frame off. He has got, now these trucks came with Babbitt bearing 6-cylinders. He's put a more modern 6-cylinders out of a 57 Chevy, and it's fully pressurized. So it's got the 6-cylinder. He's bought a kit off of Buffalo, which I believe is in Washington State. I could be wrong there, but I know the company's called Buffalo. It adapts a turbo 350 to the back of the motor, and then he's running a 10-inch Camaro rear end in the back. Now, we didn't take this truck off the frame. There was no need to. The floorboards weren't rotten. The cab mounts are all good and solid. This guy drives his truck all the time. He drives it to work every day. I mean, this is something that he insures in May, and he drives it to like the end of September, end of October. If it's raining, he's out. This is what he drives. That's it. So he didn't want to take. There was no point taking the frame and having it blasted and stripping it down to something like that point because it just wasn't worth it. So we've just cleaned it up the best we could, give it a good pressure wash, cleaned it up, sprayed her up around there, and that's about it. For body-wise, what we've done, either side, both sides, I put all new full patches in, butt welded everything, new pockets where the hinges bolt on. I put all new inner kick panels in. Those are all brand new, butt welded in. new pocket here, new inner and outer cab corners. We've done a few custom things to this truck. It's kind of hard to explain to you right now without you seeing the truck together. Maybe if you guys like this video and you shoot me back an email and you tell me, hey, you want to see more, I can show you as this thing progresses along, or any of the builds in that fact. If something interests you, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do another video. This is all new to me. People have been trying to talk me into this for years now, and I don't like doing this, but I'm doing it, so what the hell. The guy brought me a visor. It's off something, we thought a Chev car, but it's not. Anyway, we had to cut and pre-fit the visor, so that's where the holes are here. So it's going to have a visor on there, so it brings it down so it looks like it's got that chop look. He didn't really want to chop the truck. And yeah, the inside's already been painted black. We've redone all the black in the inside. Like I say, the frame is all cleaned up and tidied up. This is another one. We need to have it on the road for May. So we've got May, June, and the Chevelle June. So you can see we're on the push here. And I am not a huge shop. Here I take pride in what goes on, so I don't have a lot of employees. I've got 2 employees, believe it or not, and that is it. And I am the only guy that works full-time here. My other employees are only part-time. One comes in 2 days a week, and the other one comes in 2 days a week, and that's it. And we can pretty much handle anything you want here. So as you see in the background, there's some other projects there. My own personal vehicles that never get attended to because you guys are more important. But anyway, we're back where we started. Like I said from the beginning, if you want to build a $200,000 or $300,000 or $500,000 car, I can do it for you. It's not a problem. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm fully licensed in everything. I'm ticketed in everything. I can handle it. I personally like the old school stuff. As you can probably tell from my truck over there, if you took a photograph in black and white, it would probably look like it rolled out of the early 60s maybe. It's I'm kind of an old school builder. And, you know, but like I said, I can build anything. We do high-end work here, we do mid-range work, we do low-end work. There's a lot of guys out there that will say, well, hey Rick, you shouldn't be just patching up the guy's quarter panel and letting it go out the door with a couple waves in it. It doesn't look good for your business. But you know what? Not everybody has a couple $100,000 to spend on a car, and you got to work with this guy, because maybe one day this guy will have the money to do the car right, and that's his pride and joy. And I would sooner see another old car surviving on the road, even if it means I'm just putting a patch in that's only going to last a couple years. That car is going to survive another couple years, and that's what it's about at the end of the day for me. It's about the cars and about keeping you guys happy. I don't give a shit about all the other crap. I don't care about the car shows. I don't care about all the rockabilly crap and all the girls dressed up. It's all about the cars and you guys. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you want to see more. My plan is maybe shoot a video out there at the beginning of the week showing you what we're doing, and maybe one at the end of the week and showing you the progress and showing you some of the cars as we're maybe chopping a car or customizing something. You might like that. And yeah, that's about all I got to say. So welcome to Old Time Garage. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you later.